Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kastuba. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastuba Das. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to Jesus Week.
Oh, yeah.
It is a Christmas celebration of Christmas extravaganza happening here all week long. We're in the spirit of, you know what? Some people say, I hate Christmas. There's nothing to do. You know what? We upcycle Christmas. If it doesn't, if they'd taken the Christ out of Christmas, by the way, my mother, if you wrote Xmas, she would kill you. She would kill you if you wrote Xmas. So, you know, if you're not a Christian, it's a season. We're coming together with people we love. It's a season of giving instead of taking. That's the message we're trying to give into our children. I think it's a good thing. I'm in full support of Christmas. Okay. That's how I feel. I know it's not on the same day as Christ really was here. I know we've stolen a bunch of pagan rituals. You know what? It's the season of giving.
Okay.
Think about that.
Beautiful. Lovely.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. Merry Christmas to you.
Thanks. We're thinking about having a Super Soul Christmas party. We're thinking about it. Mayor's like,
and who's going to be cooking for that?
If we don't have enough going on already, like packing up this house and getting ready for India. Quite exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any announcements, Miss Mara? She's behind the 8-ball today.
I got an announcement. Today is the last day. This is it. Final. This is it. If you want to sign up for Sage groups, do it today. Go to Wisdom of the Sages 108. No, wisdomofthesages.com and go to the link, in the menu that's Sage groups and sign up today because we're going to close it and then it'll be closed for 18 weeks or so.
There you go.
We also have a Bhakti Recovery Group meeting at 1 p.m. today. And our show will be at 8 a.m. all this week.
All right.
Right. You sent me a nugget, but I got my own Jesus nugget. Who's your nugget by?
The nugget that I sent you is by Omar Khayyam.
Is it a Jesus nugget?
No, it has nothing to do with Jesus. It's more appropriate for today's show. But if you have a Jesus nugget and you want to do that, we can do that instead.
Well, it's not Jesus, but it's Matthew. He's one of the first.
It's a Bible nugget. Now you're just
Bible nugget. Jesus is in the Bible.
Let's hear
it. I wonder.
Hit it.
Blessed are the pure in heart,
yeah,
for they shall see God.
Oh, that's
think
nice.
about that. That's classic.
Okay, that fits right in with the theme too.
That's us.
Yeah.
We say the same thing.
Well, let me ask you this, Raghunath.
What?
Then what exactly is the heart pure of? Right? Purity means like something has its pure state, and then something gets mixed into it, it becomes impure, and then you remove that, it becomes purified, right?
Yeah.
So what do we mean by pure heart?
Okay, right? Calm, crowd, low, mog, lust, greed, anger, envy,
All right.
The
Purified
envy of
from
other
these
people.
things.
How can you see anything? Right? If you have greed, you can't see anything. Everything looks like, how can I make money out of that? How can I make money out of that? How can I make money out of her? How can I make money out of him? Everything becomes like, that becomes your lens and to see the world. If you
Right.
have like lust lenses, then you won't even like people according, you'll only like them as long as they can serve your senses. You know, and we have a lens that we wear of everything in this world. We look for it. You know, when I was a teenager, I looked for skateboarding. I could skate on that. That would be great. I could jump off that. I could do a frontside air off of that. That's how I thought. You have the lens of a skater, but we have different lenses that we wear, and we replace those lenses with the lens of God. How can I see God in this? How can I see God's hand in this? How can I see God? How can I hear God's whisper in this?
But
So
apparently, according to Matthew, we won't see through those lenses until the heart is purified.
Yeah. So this calm, crow,
Or
lust, greed, anger, they
or-
have to become pure.
Maybe
And
we should
we
say,
need a
I'm sorry, go ahead.
process. We need a process of purifying the mind.
Process.
And that's what the yoga system is. It's a process of purifying the mind. And unless I'm doing that, I'm not doing yoga. For anybody who's got an issue with us,
Easy, Raghunath. This is turning into a rant now. Now just tone
sometimes
it
people
down.
give me an issue.
Just
Like, well, where's
a
the
little
yoga? You
bit
don't talk
now.
about yoga. This is the yoga.
Okay.
This is the yoga.
All right. All right.
And if you want hot yoga, we'll turn up the heat and we'll still talk about the same thing,
Okay.
because this is the yoga.
Yeah, I was going to say that maybe it's, so the point Matthew was making is that you don't see God until the heart is purified. Could you read it again?
Blessed are the pure in heart,
Okay.
for they shall see.
For they shall see God. Yeah, and so I said until the heart's pure, you won't see through that lens. But maybe it's as much to the extent that our heart is purified, we will be able to see through that lens. Huh? That work
Sure.
for you?
Sure.
Now that nugget kind of plays in with my Omar Khayyam. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. My Omar Khayyam.
Tell me your Christmas nugget.
Well, I don't know if it's a Christmas nugget. I believe.
Blessed are the reindeer.
I have a feeling that Omar.
Blessed are the reindeer.
Let's
How
read
did we
a little
get
bit.
reindeer in the mix of Jesus?
I don't know.
Did Jesus have a reindeer in the manger?
No, he did not. So Omar Khayyam was a polymath. What's a polymath?
Speaks many languages.
Okay.
Oh, Mara. That's
Mara.
private school
Right.
paid off.
I hope I'm right. Oh, maybe that's a polyglot. Actually,
That's a polyglot.
Okay.
Polymath?
Polymath. M-A-T-H. M-A-T-H.
Polymath. Maybe he did multiple.
It has something to do
math.
with. He's a
Many types of
mathematician.
math.
Ooh, a
He did all-
person of encyclopedic learning.
A person of encyclopedic learning. You know who else was called a walking encyclopedia, Kostuba? Actually, Mara, you know this. Who was called a walking encyclopedia? Prabhupada's guru.
Oh.
He's called a walking encyclopedia. You ever
Okay.
heard that, Kostuba?
I think I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who I was going to guess if you put me on the spot.
So that's called a polymath.
Okay.
So
So
it's a word of the day.
So this
And we used to
was-
have words on the day on the show.
We
Remember
did.
that?
We did.
Words of the day.
Would you like to hear what this polymath has to say?
Yeah. What does this polymath have to say if he was so
Okay.
wise?
He was known for his contributions in mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, and Persian poetry. And this is what he said, and I liked it, and I thought it was very consistent with our Bhagavatam philosophy. It really kind of gets to the essence of what the Bhagavatam is doing. He said, in monasteries, seminaries, retreats, and synagogues, they fear hell and seek paradise.
Mhm.
Those who know the mysteries of God
The mysteries of the universe.
never let that seed be planted in their souls. Should I read that again?
Read that again.
In monasteries, seminaries, retreats, and synagogues.
Starts off like a rap. In monasteries, seminaries, sanctuaries. All right, go on. Sorry.
Sanctuary. Oh, that would have been good. In monasteries, seminaries, retreats, and synagogues. They fear hell and seek paradise.
Mhm.
those who know the mysteries of God never let that seed be planted in their souls.
What does that mean? That like a devotee will walk right into hell if that's what God
The way
wants
that
him
I
to
understand
do?
that means
That's
is
how I
that
hear it.
our purpose that those who are not merely religious but spiritual, if you want to use that kind of terminology, or those that are not just superficial in their spirituality but actually understand it in some depth, they're beginning to understand the mysteries of God. In other words, what God is really all about, what God's heart is really all about. They're not interested in approaching God saying, I don't want to suffer, I want enjoyment, right? So I fear hell, I seek paradise. They don't even let the seed of that type of thinking enter into their heart, because that is contrary to love, right? I simply want to love God, right? Like, Mara, like, say Raghunath proposed to you. Mara, I love you.
We're gonna do it live.
Right now. It's a Christmas extravaganza.
It's a Christmas. She's blushing. She's blushing.
But he was expressing words of love, because this is what we do in churches and synagogues and monasteries, like these prayers that may be expressing, reverence or even love for God. And he was using words of love. I love you. I want to make you happy, and I want to spend my life, but you knew, Mary, you knew that all along, Raghunath, he knew what a business you've got going over there with your catering business.
I'm trying to get in on that.
He was just like, oh man, I could, that's what I'm really interested in.
My honey money.
When I'm when I'm speaking to Mara all these words of love, I'm really thinking I want something from her.
Yeah.
Then you would know that wasn't true love that was being expressed.
I have an agenda.
There's an agenda. And so now what Omar here is saying is that in monasteries, seminaries, retreats, synagogues, when people are wrapped in prayer and so on, but when the motive behind it is that I want to avoid going to hell, or I want to go to heaven, that you're not approaching God purely. You're not approaching God with love. It's almost like some creep that wants to marry you just to get your money or something like that. Right? I mean, maybe that's being a bit harsh.
Yes, I think it's more harsh putting me into that analogy. Okay. Using Mara as the one I'm trying to get over on. That was the harsh part of the analogy.
It was right in front of me. I just went with it. Sorry about that. But and then I like the way he says it. Those who know the mysteries of God never let that seed be planted in their souls. This is, this is a lot of what Bhagavatam is all about, is that bhakti is superior to karma, which focuses on trying to avoid bad karma and trying to accrue good karma for material pleasure. Right? So Omar's into it. I think Matthew's into it. I think we've got like a multicultural, unity on this understanding this morning.
Sure.
It's a little interfaith dialogue, a little interfaith harmony here. We got Omar on one side. We got Matthew.
They're the same faith. There's
Omar. I would imagine that
he's a Christian.
Is he?
I thought you told me that.
I didn't tell you that, but he's writing Persian poetry. His name is Omar. My guess is that
there's a lot of Christians named
there
Omar.
There may be, but I'm putting the pieces of the puzzle together.
All right. Okay, maybe he's not.
Okay. So anyway, now that's going to play into today's show, because we're going to hear from the Pracetas. They've been asked. This is kind of different. It's almost like Mara turned to Raghunath and said, "What do you want, Raghunath? Anything, like, do you want my catering business? What do you tell me what you want?" And then the Pracetas are kind of in that position. They're being offered whatever they want, and we get to hear more. We heard a bit of their answer. We're going to hear more detailed answer today. We heard last Friday. We heard the beginning of their answer. Today we hear more.
All right,
excited.
Let's dive into the sweet nectar pot.
Let's do it.
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, and to Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistaki. by regular attendance in classes on Bhagavatam, and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome in the heart will become eradicated. And loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmidatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet.
Okay.
Mara, we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Reading from Canto 4, Chapter 30, Text 31.
Now,
Thank
what
you.
happened? Let's talk a little bit about text 30 before we go there. Ready? And you know what I became aware of? I wasn't sure. I thought this might be the case. But when Lord Vishnu is appearing to them, floating down on Garuda, his bird
Mhm.
carrier, they actually went right into the water. It's like amphibious kind of thing going on.
Who went
you
into
know?
the water? Vishnu
Lord Vishnu and the bird, you know,
and the bird?
Yeah,
Eagles have a tough time in the water. You know that?
this well Garuda didn't.
Not Garuda. Okay.
Yeah, he just went right into the water and I mean, the Pracetas are seeing some amazing stuff, right? Like,
By the way, I've been under scrutiny and criticism by Mara for all
we'll
my
get into
animal
this.
attacking videos. And I just want to clarify something. During a Japa walk, I had a clarity why I watch these videos. It's because when you see things being attacked and killed, and it happens like lightning fast, like when you were talking about eagles get stuck in the water sometimes, and then they can become prey for others. My point is, by seeing things die on a regular basis, it wakes you up to the sobriety. It makes you sober to the temporality of material existence. I keep it at the forefront of my mind, man. It's not just because I like death. I watch car crashes. I watch landslides. These are the things I follow. And I was trying to analyze, why am I doing these things to myself? I do them because they keep me sober.
Are you
Life
sure
is short.
that wasn't just a rationalization and that you have some kind of morbid fascination?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not bad. I'm horrified by it.
For the record, I don't criticize it. I just
record.
like to send you some cute animal videos to balance it out. That's all.
She counters my animal videos because I send them to her occasionally. Like, she counters them with like 2 panda bears embracing. I was like, yeah, before one of them bites the hand off. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for that, Raghunath.
All right.
We
Go on with this.
We
Now we are
now
on-
understand that your motives are healthy and pure.
Healthy.
Okay.
They're part of my service. It's part of my bhakti.
Exactly. Okay. So in text 30, after coming down into the water, Lord Vishnu is saying to the Pracetas, who he's so satisfied with, you know, he's so pleased by them. And we remember, if we go back a ways, he was so pleased with them because part of it was because they cooperated so well with one another. You know, that moved him. Interesting point, right?
Yeah.
And also he's been moved by their meditation on him and their devotion, obviously. And now he's saying to them, you know, I'm so pleased with you. I want to offer you something. I want to give you a benediction. Ask for something. And in text 30, the Pracetas turned to him and said, your satisfaction is our benediction. Right? When you're pleased, that's what pleases us. There's nothing that you can give us that's going to make us happier than knowing that you're satisfied. Because we love you. You know, that's called love right there, right? Yeah.
You, Kastuba. Tell
What?
us about love. I like it.
Okay.
All right, let's go. Text 31. You
Yeah.
ready?
Yeah, and so now it's going to continue. I think some of the acharyas, they've kind of implied that it's kind of like Vishnu wasn't fully set. No, ask me for something. No, ask me for something. Okay, like in between the lines here. And now we're going to hear about that.
Alrighty. O Lord of the universe, dear Lord, we shall therefore pray for your benediction because you are the supreme, beyond all transcendence, and because there is no end to your opulences. Consequently, you're celebrated by the name Ananta.
Anta
Ananta
means end.
Oh, I never,
Ananta.
you little Sanskrit
I
pundit.
like that little
I
word.
never figured that out.
Ananta.
I just thought it meant unlimited, but it means the end, means
No,
without end.
Without end, exactly. Unending. You could say.
Sanskrit, the perfect language. Dear Lord, when the bee approaches the celestial tree called the parijata, I love this. First of all, the whole concept of the parijata tree was brought to earth. Very interesting, isn't it?
Very interesting.
Because that means like because sometimes we say like, hey, these Prajapatis created species, and those species went to earth.
Well, you know, like I think in kingdoms, you know, like in the past,
They
like
would. I know what you're talking about, botanists, right?
Not exactly.
No.
But I think centuries ago, like for instance, say you visited a certain kingdom, and they had something going there that you didn't have in your own. Like you were like Marco Polo, or you went somewhere like far away.
They did it with oak trees. They did it with oak trees.
Or what to speak of something like, a lemon tree or an olive tree or something that they don't have in the other place, but you build your economy on it. Then they could be threatened if someone came and took that back. Right now they can grow it themselves. So on. So the Parijata tree was from another planet.
Yeah.
But out of his romantic love to please his lover, Krishna brought the Parijata to earth.
Yeah. And it makes you wonder, are any other trees from other planets? That's from a spiritual planet, I think, the Parijata tree. But are there other plants here from? I'm convinced mushrooms are from other planets.
All right.
I'm serious. That's my total speculation. I know we don't speculate on the show, but
just because they look so far out,
they're otherworldly.
Okay.
Dear Lord, when the bee approaches the celestial tree called the Parijata, it certainly does not leave the tree, because there's no need for such action. Why would a bee leave the Parijata tree, the most fragrant of all trees, right?
They're kind of saying we're satisfied just seeing you. Like, we just don't want to go. We just want to be always absorbed in associated.
We've got everything. It's just like when we hang out with our guru, when we hang out with Radhanath Swami. And if he says, what would you guys like? We're like, are you kidding? This is what we like.
You're here.
We like just being with you. This is it. Yeah. Similarly, when we have approached your lotus feet and taken shelter of them, what further benediction may we ask of you?
We're satisfied right now. Yeah. But now he's saying, no. I want you to ask for something. Ask me for something.
The Lord's going to push.
He's pushing. Okay.
They're going to continue first. Okay. No. They're still continuing. Dear Lord, as long as we have to remain within this material world due to our material contamination and wander from one type of body to another and from one planet to another, we pray that we may associate with those who are engaged in discussing your pastimes. We pray for this benediction, life after life, in different bodily forms and on different planets. Did I ever tell you the time I was drowning in Brazil?
I think you did, yes.
I was going down.
You were trying to save another, right?
I was trying to save another. And if you try to save another and you're not a good lifeguard, they pull you down underwater.
Right.
And so this guy pulled me down. I got caught up in a riptide, threw out in the middle of the ocean. No one could hear me. It was early in the morning. I just finished my japa. I just finished chanting a chapter of the Bhagavatam. I was with Shelter. The band didn't know where I was. I had a whole tour ahead of me. And I was like, what the hell? I'm going to die here. This is it.
You were just walking on the beach and you saw someone drowning and you just ran in with your clothes on or something?
No, it was my publicist.
Oh.
It was my publicist. I begged him to come to the beach and dive in the water. He's like, no, I don't swim.
So you were kind of responsible for this.
I was sort of responsible. I sort of coerced him. I was like, come on, we won't go deep. And he's like, I just ate breakfast. We're going to, and I had just woken up early, chanted my japa, chanted a chapter of the Gita. And then I somehow convinced him to go in the water. And the waves were big. He got cramps. He got caught. I went to save him and he held me underwater till I choked. And then he somehow got out and I got dragged out to sea.
You didn't find somebody to come rescue you? Like he was just
no, he didn't.
I'm okay. See you later.
Yeah, I know. What the hell?
You got me into this. You get yourself out of it.
But anyway, I called. I said, I'm going to have to call for help. And I was like, help me. Help me. And you're, the ocean is loud. I was so far out that no one came to help me. I mean, no one could hear me. I was like, okay, people can't hear you. You're so far away. And then I was like, you got to pray to God. You got to pray to God. I started screaming, Krishna, save me, Krishna. And then I was like, humans aren't going to help you. Krishna's not going to help you. And this is how people die. And then people have died like this for thousands of years. They get out too far. They can't get back in. And this is just how it happens. And I know you weren't expecting this today, but this is the day you're going to die. And I was just,
and then a
I was
dolphin
like,
came out.
no, wait a second. And then I was like, oh my God, this is the day I was going to die. And no one knows where I am. My mom doesn't know where I am. The band doesn't know where I am.
Your mother always told you about swimming in unknown waters.
She always told me don't swim in unknown waters. So this is what happened. I finally went, okay, Krishna, I know I'm not a pure devotee, but I can't swim anymore. I'm out of breath. I know I'm not a pure devotee. Please let me take birth with families that are always chanting the holy name. That was my final prayer. Just like we just read. That's why I brought it up in this verse.
No, well, this is so important, Raghunath. That's great. I'll tell you something, Raghunath.
I'm thinking like the Bhagavatam, at least.
I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm very impressed with that. I'm very impressed with that. No, because you see, just think about the position of these Pracetas, right? They could ask for anything, and they didn't even ask, like, could we be liberated in your service? Like, in the sense that, like, can we go to the spiritual realm and serve you there for eternity? But they said, they didn't even ask for liberation, right? Like, they're assuming we're going to take birth again. That's okay, right? We're not even going to ask you not to go through the sufferings of birth and death again and again and again. We're prepared for that. We expect that we deserve to go through that, but we just have one. And this was their, when they were pushed to ask for something, then it's so interesting what they ask, right? They say that while we're wandering in this material world, right, we're going through different births. We're going through different bodies. We're going through different species even. We're going through all different kind of material circumstance, birth, death, everything in between. While we're going through that, we're asking just one thing, right? One thing. We pray that we may associate with those who are engaged in discussing your pastimes. Right? I don't care. Sometimes you see this in India, right? It happens all the time, like that alligator, right? That crocodile in that temple that passed away recently.
Oh, yeah. That was sad. The alligator that died.
And it's not uncommon that, like, there's like a temple and they read Bhagavatam every day at a certain time, and like
a monkey comes in and sits with them every day.
Monkey, like a bull, every day comes and shows up, sits right there. A dog, a dog comes every day, and it's just part of it.
This is real.
This stuff is real. Yeah. So the Pracetas say, I don't care if I'm born as a crocodile. If that's what I'm destined to happen to me, that's okay. Even though I just did 10,000 celestial years of meditation on your divine form underwater, if I'm destined to take birth, as a crocodile, that's okay. But could I just be a crocodile that's in the association of your devotees that are chanting your glories? That's all I want. And you know what, Raghunath?
I'm praying like the Pracetas,
like Lord Chaitanya, right? Where he's saying birth, even the birth after birth, all I want. What is it? Nadanam, Najanam, Nasundarim.
No.
Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare, right? Bhagavata Bhaktira Oitikime. I just want to serve you, even birth after birth. That's all I'm asking, right? Here they're saying, I just want to be around people that are glorifying you. So that's always running through my mind. It's always my center of my life.
Well, I did a little Karma Mishra Bhakti first. I was like, Krishna, save my body. Save me, Krishna.
You started there. Yeah.
But this is a good lesson here for me now.
Yeah.
It takes a type of destitution to really evoke that pure bhakti spirit. Like at first it was like, just save me. I'm about to go on tour. It's going to be quite exciting. There's going to be tropical fruit and big shows and excitement and success. And then once you're not going to be saved. In the complete destitution, you have to go to Krishna, whatever you want. Let me take birth with devotees. It takes a little hopelessness.
You felt,
and it's a lesson for those who are feeling hopeless today.
Okay.
It's a lesson if you're feeling hopeless today, and it's understandable. Sometimes we feel hopeless.
Happens.
maybe this is our push, our little prodding to take shelter of Krishna, and come through this in a beautiful way. I did live, but I was destitute, and I did cry out in great hopelessness. Please,
and that's when the dolphin came.
Then a magical pink dolphin picked me with a peacock feather in his little spout.
You're kidding me. His spout. I think it's a porpoise that has the spout.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, a little kid, a 13-year-old kid on surfboard saved my life.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Someone came out.
Yeah, he swam out, and I have these nice big Tulsi malas. I gave it to him. He didn't speak a word of English.
Nice. That's nice.
I was trying to say, muito obrigado, ciao. That's all I can say.
But I wanted to share, hearing your story, that someone may read Bhagavatam. You see, what's happening here in Bhagavatam right now is a message that's just repeated over, and it's like every story it's the same moral, and there's 18,000 verses. It keeps happening again and again, where the devotee is offered any benediction. The devotee says, "I don't want anything." Lord Vishnu says, "No, you got to take something." The devotee says something like this: "All I want is you." Right? Even birth after birth. That's all I'm looking at. I'm not even asking you to escape the miseries of this world, which many spiritualists see as the very goal of spiritual life, right?
Omar said.
Like Omar saying, in the monasteries, and they want paradise. They want escape from hell. They want escape from birth and death. They want liberation, moksha. Because they had tasted bhakti, love, they weren't interested in moksha. They were just interested in love, and they were ready to go through any species as long as they had that opportunity to hear about their beloved. It didn't matter. And one might say, well, come on, man, this book is just putting out the same message again and again and again. But my point would be the fact that you were able to pray like that in that high pressure situation has to do with your hearing this message repeatedly, right?
Well, I think it's Lord Chaitanya's mercy. I think it's mercy.
Well,
that's what means. Undeserved grace. That's what I give credit to.
But the Bhagavatam itself is undeserved grace. In other words, you've been given that blessing that you've been able to hear this repeatedly, and then at that moment, that message came to you. Whether it came purely from Paramatma in the heart, or Lord Chaitanya in your heart, or that your mind and your heart had been had been like what do you call it, like had prepared in a sense for this moment, by you hearing these messages of the pure devotees again and again. You were there when the time came.
The material world spares no one, not of any economic class, any race, any gender preference, any political view. The material world spares no one. Everybody becomes destitute at one point, and no one's getting a pass from that. Not the 1% who are meeting in Davos to try to control the world. They don't get a pass from that either. The material body is temporary, and the only thing we got is to develop an addiction to hearing and chanting the names of Krishna, which protect us from fear personified.
Nice. And I think there's a message here too. There's this term jiva mukti, right? Or jivan mukta.
Yeah.
A person that's living in this world, but they're liberated. They have moksha. They have mukti.
It's a great name for a yoga studio. Jiva mukti. But they've really snagged a good name, doesn't it? The jiva is actually free. And what are we free from? Actually, when we talk about jiva, we're free from our body and our mind. These are the things that are entrapping. This is the thing that has us on lockdown. My body's got me in lockdown. That's why we do our asanas. We don't do our asanas to win asana contests or to join a circus and be the best contortionist. We do asanas to keep this gift maintained, because it's a gift. And if we don't look at it as a gift, then we just misuse the gift. We neglect the gift. It's like I keep something in my a fine piece of machinery just in the basement, leave it outside, in the rain. No, it's a gift. Take care of the gift. And then we do all but it's really to actually pacify that mind, which also keeps the body keeps us in bondage, and the mind keeps us in bondage. again and again. And so as I refine myself and my yoga practice, the body's taken care of, the mind is taken care of. I relinquish all these granny knots of the mind that I've created through anger, envy, greed, right? We were saying this in the nugget. These are the things that are tying me up in this world. And then I become free, and then meditation becomes simple. You want to meditate? You got to get rid of lust, greed, anger, envy, revenge.
Okay. But what was the point I was going to make?
Revenge.
Oh yeah, that no, nothing to do with revenge, but it had to do with moksha. In other words, there are many followers of Vedanta that are seeing moksha, freedom from the sufferings of this world, merging into the oneness, divine peace, divine light. They see that as the very goal, the highest goal of yoga. But here you have these Pracetas who were like, they were expert yogis. Look what they did. Right? But they had no interest in moksha, apparently, because Vishnu offered them anything, and they said, moksha, please. That's the goal of the whole thing, right?
Right. Give me more.
Hook me up with the moksha.
Yeah.
No.
Hook me up with the moksha. You think they said that?
They didn't say that.
They didn't say that. Okay.
They said, hook me up with hearing your pastimes. Forget about the moksha. I don't care if I'm born as an insect. I don't care if I'm born as a tortoise. I don't care if I'm born as a crocodile. As long as I'm with people that are chanting your glories and I'm hearing that, because I love you, I feel complete satisfaction. I can feel complete satisfaction in any species, right? I can taste something that's beyond the taste of moksha, and that's bhakti.
Me like.
Now they're going to go on.
Bhakti.
They're going to go on, and they're going to explain more about this. And this is a clue to us. If we want to be jivan mukta, right? If we want to be liberated, even in this body, even in this lifetime.
I do.
Okay, the key is to always be hearing about Krishna and Krishna's pastimes. Be associating with people that carry that with. Some people, like you can't. I tell you, I'm so impressed with some people, Raghunath.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And sometimes in my being impressed with them, I hate myself just a little more.
No. It doesn't have to be like that. but like,
all right, tell me.
Take something like Vaisheshika Prabhu. Like, this is a person that's like, you just can't get him off it. Like, and it's not artificial. It's not, like he's always enthusiastic, almost with a childlike enthusiasm.
Yeah, towards bhakti.
Yeah, let's chant these mantras. Hey, let's chant Brahma Samhita right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Like yeah, he's like this is fun. That's that taste, that ruchi, right? That when someone's got that, it's infectious and it carries you, right? It kind of brings you into the realm of their liberation,
That's how you become empowered to spread this. You make this stuff fun. It is fun. It is fun.
It's true.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Oh man, you know what Mara did yesterday? She made all these Christmas goodies. Christmas goodies, all covered in tulsi, all offered prasad. You're trying to kill me? Those were I was like,
for your kids.
They were for my kids. Oh, now you tell me. But I'm just thinking, it's like, man, this is fun. This is fun. I can eat this legitimately. And it's prasad.
Okay, so now let's hear more. They're going to go in a bit more detail about why they want the association of people. What did they say? We pray that we may associate with those who are engaged in discussing your pastimes. Why? Tell me why.
Tell me why. What song is that?
Don't worry about it. Text 34.
Tell me why. Tell me why. What's that song, people? Somebody write down on the board so it doesn't kill me.
It's some boy band, but in any case, yeah. Keep going.
Backstreet Boys.
There you go.
All right. Text 34. Even a moment's association with pure devotee cannot be compared to being transferred to heavenly planets or even merging into the Brahman effulgence in complete liberation.
Boom. There you go. Those are the two other things, right?
Those are two incredible things, and it's much, much better.
It's much better than that.
It's much better.
So the goal of karma is the heavenly planets. The goal of moksha, merging into Brahman.
That must be like. It's just like, this is incredible. And then the Brahman effulgence must be like, it's like I have no body.
It's even better.
It's even better.
Like there's no anxiety.
More. There's no anxiety whatsoever.
Yeah.
I wonder what the difference of the pleasures are. Just,
There's no varieties of pleasure in merging into the Brahman. It's just
pleasure, just
It's
joy,
just-
not joy, maybe, just pleasure.
yeah. I mean, I suppose you could call it a type of joy, but again,
I don't
the
know if it's
devotees see that
joyous.
joy as a neutral
As-
stage. It's just a relief from suffering that's so
Right.
tremendous that it feels like.
But a heaven must actually be really, it's like really refined sense gratification.
Real super refined, but we find that they're in anxiety there, right? That's not
No, they're
Vaikuntha.
not.
That's still
No,
yeah.
they're not.
They're not. They're still in anxiety.
No, in the heavenly planets, they're not in anxiety because their
Raghunath,
bodies
this
die immediately
entire
and they give birth immediately.
oh
and they live
Raghunath.
very long times without
Brahma
disease.
Bhuvana Loka. Look at Indra. You think Indra's not in anxiety? He's sending down goddesses to seduce sages because he's worried he's going to lose his position.
You got a good point there. Okay,
All
maybe
right,
maybe they are in anxiety.
Okay.
You
There's
got me.
incredible pleasures, but
Yeah,
they're
there's great
are
pleasures, but
mixed with
there's
anxiety.
whenever there's great pleasure, there's a fear of losing that.
Yeah, they may not be on Vicodin or whatever people are on, whatever.
They're on some other herbs.
But yeah, that's right. They're on Soma and these
Yeah,
other
they're,
things.
they're intoxicated all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so let's hear more why they want to be with. Oh, we were hearing. Let's complete this verse. Text 34. Why don't you start from the beginning? Again?
Even a moment's association with a pure devotee cannot be compared to being transferred to heavenly planets or even merging into the Brahman effulgence in complete liberation. For living entities who are destined to give up the body and die, association with pure devotees is the highest benediction. This is it right
That's
here.
it.
Highest thing you could do. The highest thing you could do is we ourselves become very, very focused on our spiritual life, get rid of all our bad habits and live it. And then people will lift up being around us. And how do you do that? You find people who are lifting you up and associate with them. It's quite a simple recipe.
All right. Awesome.
You find people who lift you higher and keep their association, render service for them, get their mercy, and then all of a sudden you become absorbed, and then you start to lift people around you.
Lift him up.
It's an electrical chain. She touches the socket, I touch her hand, I touch his hand, we all become electrified by connecting with source. We become sorcerers.
In a sense, we do, Raghunath.
That's what a sorcerer is, one who's connected with source.
There you go.
Like that?
Now,
I'm going to use that as part of my bio.
okay.
Part-time botanist, gentleman farmer, and sorcerer.
You know, Karuna, to further support the point.
Gentleman farmer.
Karuna, little Karuna, 9 years old, to further support the point about anxiety in the heavenly planet, she says, what about the time Indra stole the horse? Right?
Yeah, I get it, Karuna. I was already defeated with the
Okay. She just wanted to throw a little bit more
Thank
dirt
you.
on your grave.
Let's
there.
kick some more sand in his eyes while he's down.
All right. So now Raghunath, okay, we heard their benediction. They were pushed into asking for a benediction. They said, we just want to be around people that are always glorifying you. That's better than the heavenly planets. That's better than merging into the Brahman. That's what we're looking for. Even if we have to be born and die again and again, this is the benediction that we want right here. Well, tell me more. Why? What's so great about that? What's the effect of that? What does it feel like? Text 35.
Text 35. Whenever pure topics of the transcendental world are discussed, the members of the audience forget all kinds of material hankerings, at least for the time being.
At least for the time being.
Right? We're satisfied. We get very satisfied. Not only that, but they are no longer envious of one another. That's the pain. That's an ongoing pain in the mind when people are envious of other people's success. Right?
Totally wrong. And also, I also believe that this word, when Prabhupada uses the word envy, he's also referring to hostility, right? So like, there's no hostility,
sure,
in that circle of people. Did you read the whole thing? Yeah, no anxiety.
Yeah, sort of people have things I don't have. Not only that, but they are no longer envious of one another, nor do they suffer from anxiety or fear. How timely.
How timely.
Right? The world is riddled with anxiety. The world's riddled with fear. The more here's the deal. We don't have that much. We do, but it's not publicly offered. This is the thing that can, you want to get rid of anxiety? Hear the Bhagavatam on a regular basis. That doesn't mean that you won't die. That won't mean you won't lose a limb.
You might lose a limb.
You might lose a limb if you listen to the Bhagavatam. The point is, it reduces the fever of material anxiety. Why? Because you see yourself as something separate. You see yourself as a passenger who's going country to country, birth to birth, lifetime to lifetime, in different bodies, and it's not you. And that, first of all, that to frame out existence like that is a relief. You're like, oh, I get it. I'm tiny. My big problems are actually so insignificant. This is the beginning to release the pressure that we built up due to fretting the small stuff, fretting and sweating the small stuff. So more timely than ever. And so we have to make this stuff public. You want to give somebody a good gift, give them the gift of the Bhagavatam. Turn them on to Wisdom of the Sages, turn them on to the Bhagavatam, turn them on to some YouTube channel that talks about the Bhagavatam on a regular basis. Give the gift of jelly. They won't accept the Bhagavatam. You give them jelly offered to God with a Bhagavad Gita on top of it.
We
missed the boat on that. Is that over?
I think it's getting a little late to get the jelly in on time. But you can try. I mean, even if it comes a little late, that's cool.
Yeah. I think you can still order it. It just might not arrive in time for Christmas.
Okay, still give jelly for
That's
Boxing
the Happy
Day.
Girl Kitchen.
Yeah,
arrive
for
on
New
Boxing
Year's.
Day.
For New Year's, and but you know what we got to announce tomorrow because I forgot it. But we're caught up in this middle of this campaign. Now is the time to donate a case of Bhagavad Gitas to people. We're going to offer everyone that opportunity where you just have to call the phone number, and they're trying to distribute something like 3 billion Bhagavad Gitas. I'll figure out. I'll get you the number. They're trying to distribute like millions and millions of Bhagavad Gitas, and and so everyone. I've been doing it every year. Yeah, we can do that. We can all take part, and so we'll announce how to do that tomorrow.
Do we have to distribute them, or we just
no? You just call the phone number. And you say, I want to donate 1 case of Bhagavad Gitas. Well, where would you like to donate that? How about like a prison? Which we can make that happen. Or how about a hospital? Or how about a library? Or how about my friend? Or whatever. Or I want some myself so I can hand them out to my friends. They're gonna send it where you want to go. Really? You just make the donation. They hook you up. Oh, apparently the goal this year, our little devil.
We'll take a case at Super Soul.
Okay, yeah.
All of a sudden,
Kelly Skinner got 3 cases coming in. You see, people are doing it already. I didn't even know about it.
Kelly Skinner. Kelly Skinner went out on book distribution on the streets.
Kelly Skinner, I would buy a book from her if she came up.
I would too. If she came up to me, hey, you want to buy Bhagavad Gita? I was like, whatever you want, bright light. Whatever you want.
And as she's saying that the goal is 3 million Gitas, so we can all take a little part in that. So we'll announce that
Kelly
tomorrow.
Skinner distributed 3 million Gitas?
No, that's the goal of the campaign.
That's the goal of the campaign. Okay.
She contributed.
All right.
Oh, Jujitsu Nath got a couple cases. The people are already into it.
People are already doing this.
They're ahead of us.
Okay.
Now how about takeaways today?
Oh, we're already at takeaways?
Yeah.
Okay, Mara, let me give you the mic here. All right. Stick your muzzle in the mic.
My muzzle.
Nice. Your mouth in the mic. Your muka.
We find what we're looking for.
But I still haven't found. That song was interesting, huh?
Let's keep it moving.
Replace the lenses with the lens of God.
The lens of love. How about ABC? The look of love. Look of love.
Next.
Destitution is a prodding for Krishna.
Prodding, nice.
Destitution is the prodding
for Krishna.
Towards Krishna, maybe.
Or
the prodding of Krishna.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The material world spares no one.
No one.
Develop an addiction for hearing and chanting Krishna's name.
Okay. Raghunath, please. Okay, that's not even a song.
It's a song. At least keep it to real songs.
I'm so sorry.
The key is always to hear about Krishna.
There you go.
Okay.
Find people who lift you higher and keep them close.
That's the way to go.
Higher and higher, baby. It's a miracle.
Wrong lyrics, but okay.
wrong lyrics.
Bhagavatam relieves anxiety, but you still might lose a limb.
It's
Might
possible.
lose a limb.
It's okay. I mean, it's sad, but
People lose limbs.
And pray like the Pracetas.
oh, okay.
Okay. Pray like the Pracetas. We can do that. Thanks, everybody,
Pray
for
like the
joining us.
Pracetas.
Thank you for joining us for Jesus Week.
Happy Ekadashi.
Oh, yeah. I hope I didn't break it yet. I didn't get my warning. Thank you, guys. Well, I hope you have a great... I hope everybody's in that spirit of giving love. Where are you going? Where's she going? And we're very excited for our extravaganza Friday.
It's gonna be fun.
It's going to be fun.
Louis, if you want to come, let me know.
Louis, if you want to go, let me know. We're excited to see you. Yaso's going to be there. Hopefully, Madan Mohan is going to come down.
For real? Is that for real?
Yeah, he's coming down. I might give him a
that's
ride.
awesome. Okay.
I know. You didn't hear our... If you didn't hear our...
Well, it didn't sound like it was
interview with
confirmed to me. Oh, you're saying if people didn't hear it.
if you didn't hear the interview with Madame Mohan...
We got to
great
talk about
interview.
that tomorrow. It was such an interesting person.
I love talking to him. That was our Sunday interview day. But yeah, he's me and Kostuva's old buddy. You know, it was sort of nice. It was just sort of like three old friends talking. That's what it was sort of like. You know?
Yeah.
And he was on that original Shelter tour where we did like we took Inside Out and Quicksand and we traveled around with a bus of Hare Krishnas. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't get even, it doesn't get crazier than that. That was the crazy old days. And Yaso was on that. And Zach from Rage Against the Machine was on that. Walter was on that. And that was great. Gunagai Maharaj was on that.
Oh, those are the days.
Those are the good old days. Yes, Zach from Rage Against the Machine, Maturananda. Oh my God, what a tour. You could have been on that tour, Maturananda. How old were you in 1990? Maturananda was just a little pup. Thanks, everybody, for joining us on Zoom. Let's keep our numbers high. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Everybody can do this. Yeah, Katie Siegel knows the deal. Katie Siegel's hardcore.
Inside Out.
Inside Out, what? It was Quicksand's first tour, matter of fact.